Hello crafters, I'm Jan B and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how to make a triple cube pop-up box. This is what it looks like from the top, and that's the view that you get when it's sitting on the shelf. It's an absolutely brilliant card. It folds shut for posting like that, and that will go into a 6x6 envelope, which you can either make or you can do what I do and buy them. Okay. I know in America that would cost extra to post, but maybe you can get an envelope that's, I don't know, 6x8 or something, or make your own obviously. The idea for this came from a young lady who goes by the name of Iced Images. That's I-C-E-D, Iced Images. I will find a link to her YouTube channel and put it in the box below. I've done the same size as she has done, and the actual finished size flat is 5.5 inches by 5.5 inches. This one I've done, as you can see, from somebody very special who's going to have a birthday on the 30th of July. The very first one that I made was this one here, and this one I have used the Ornate Garden suite with the daisy punches, and the sentiment on that one comes from Band Together. Okay. One of the things that I have done that Iced Images didn't do, but she did say that you could, and that is I have put Designer Series paper all the way down on the inside. She did hers the same level as all around, not the back, the same as that there, but I just decided to do mine all down. And I can't remember whether it was her or not who said that you don't need to decorate the inside of your box on that one and that one, because this one's got its back to you. Okay, the back of this got back to you, and the other one is up here, but I've decorated all of mine. It's entirely up to you what you do with yours. So what I'm going to do is I have prepared in advance all the bits that I need for my decoration and my sentiments, so that I can really concentrate on the actual building of this. So I'm going to show you those bits after I've shown you the card pieces that you're going to need, so that those of you that like to work along with me know at the beginning what you will need, because I won't actually be showing it to you. Okay, hope that makes sense. Oh, one other that I've done here, and I've done a Christmas one, and that's this one, which has used the Brightly Gleaming Designer Series paper, and the stamp set for the baubles is Christmas Gleaming, and the Hark the Herald Angels and the May Your Heart Be Lifted in Praise this Christmas for the wonderful gift of Jesus and the joy he brings to our lives. They come from a new stamp set that will be available in the Christmas catalogue called Unto Us. Alright, so that's that one. I found these in my box with copper foil, so I've still got to do another two to finish that off. Okay, so they're the cards. I'm doing something totally different for the video, and the card pieces that you're going to be needing. The DSP I've gone for is the Peony Garden. So to start off with, now there are two ways of doing this. I am doing this from A4 paper. You can do it from 12x12 as well. So you need to start off with two pieces that measure 5.5 inches by 11.5 inches, and I will put the metric measurements in the box below. So that's 5.5 inches by 11.5, two pieces, And then the designer series paper for inside the box. As I say, I'm going from top to bottom. So you need 4 pieces which measure 2.5 by 5.25 inches. If you want to do just the top bit, you need 2.5 by 2.5 inches. And then for all the pieces on the inside of the box, you need 8 pieces which measure 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. Now all of those of mine are the same, and I like to go for a lighter design on the inside, so that sort of helps brighten up the outside. Not that with all that foil it needs it, but so that it doesn't look dark on the inside. And then, now this is one of the bits I've done, but you will also need 6 pieces of champagne foil. Now this is the champagne foil that I've used. Okay, it's a bit like silver, but it's got a little warm tone to it. So 6 of those which measure 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches, and then whatever designer series paper you want on the outside, and they measure 2 3/8 by 2 3/8, so you need 6 of those as well. You also need 2 pieces of cardstock that measure 2 inches by 3/4 of an inch, scored at 1 inch, so they fold in half. And the bits that I've done in advance to decorate my card, I did 2 of the flowers, 2 of the peonies from the Prize Peony stamp set, which is this one. No, this one, did 2 of these, and then I die cut it with the dies which are called peony, and I mounted it on a circle which I die cut with the layering circles dies, and that one, that's right, that was done with number 4. Okay, so that's a straight cut number 4. So there's 2 for the front, where on this one I've got the globes. And then for the sentiment on the inside, you make the flowers smell sweeter and the sunshine brighter. That I got from All Things Fabulous stamp set, which also comes with Fabulous Florals dies, and it was that one there that I took. And I die cut that using the rectangle stitch dies. Oh, sorry about that. And I used the slim dies, and I used number 2 and number 3. Okay. And then for the top, where I've got Happy Birthday Ben, 2 of those, I have Birthdays Are the Best Days, and they are from Beautiful Friendship. Okay, that's that one there. Okay, so I've done all of that ahead of time so that we can really concentrate on putting the card together. So what you need to do first is, with these 2 pieces, why are they different lengths? 5.5, 5 3/4. Right, I just need to cut a piece off there. I don't know how I've managed to do that. As you can see, I have already done one of the pieces. That's 5.5. There we go. So now both my pieces are 5.5. Yep. Okay, so what you need to do with both pieces, I've done that one, is line it up. You need the arm out on your trimmer. Okay, so you need to score at 2 3/4 inches, five and a half inches, 8 1/4 inches, 11 inches. Can you see that far over? Oh, not quite. Yes, you can now. Okay, so that's 11 inches. Now on one of these pieces, turn it to portrait and line it up. Let's get that closed from, don't need that one. So get that lined up at 2 3/4 inches and cut it in half. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we are going to fold on all of the score lines, and we are going to give it a good burnish. Okay, as always, as you fold these over and get them lined up, make sure that they are lining up straight, and you need to fold them in all the same direction. No need to worry about mountains and valleys this time. Okay, so that's one. So there is a bit you may need your trimmer for. I have found with one of mine, the when I fold it over to close the box, to put the 4 sides together, it was a bit of a tight squeeze because for some reason my cardstock was a tad longer than the 5.5. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so once you've finished doing all your folding and burnishing, if you put one flap in and then bring this flap over, no, not that way, which way did you do it? No, fold it in half, that's right. Okay, fold it in half like that, then fold that, see if it folds nicely. I mean, mine isn't, it's pushing against that, so I need to trim a little bit off of there. Let's try this one, fold it in half. So that one's not going very well either. Do this one. There we go, that's not folding. I assume it's all to do with the amount of little space that you lose as the folds go along. So I'm just going to put this, now it's the end that without that, don't do it on that end. It's this one. And I just make it so that I can still see a bit of that brown there. Okay, so it's only that little bit that I lose. Let's put that down there so you can see it. Okay, so that's one, not the 1/2 inch fold. Make sure you can still see some of the brown. Okay, so there's that one. And then this one as well. Oops. There we go. Okay, I can't even imagine what kind of a measurement that is. So if I close that, move that out of the way, and I'm going to double check, just make sure. There we go. That folds nicely. So does that. And so does that. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my designer series paper in here. And I'm going to start with my 4 big pieces. Now I do not recommend that you use a directional pattern like I have. This was the only one that I did it with. I think the others were all okay. Because obviously I got the maps in there, so they had to be up the right way. And I did do 2 of them wrong, so I've had to go in and put more maps over the top of them to make sure they are the right way. But having said all that, I've gone ahead and done it again, haven't I? Chosen another directional pattern. The problem that I have had with this one though is that because I've used so much of this designer series paper, she says, looking around for Tombow, there it is, I didn't have really what I wanted, enough of what I wanted, so I've had to introduce some grey designer series paper into this, which I'm hoping is going to turn out to be a good thing anyway, because it could have been that there was just too much petal pink, plus the fact because I've introduced the champagne designer series paper, that the grey will blend in. Okay, so I'm keeping the 1/2 inch fold on my right hand side. So I'm just popping that in, making sure it's nice and straight. Then the next one. The thing is, if you are using something that has a directional pattern on it, it means that, you know, you've got to really keep your concentration going all the time. This, I think, is a really lovely design. This is with granite grey, and I do think the granite grey goes very nice with the champagne foil. Actually, I did need to check to make sure that the champagne foil is still available. I'm sure it is. If it isn't, then obviously you can use silver. As a colour on its own, I'm not really that keen on grey granite, but when you put it with this, it looks a really nice warm grey. I have described it before as looking dreary like bad weather, but since I've tried it with this, my opinion of it has improved quite considerably. Now this is the one that we've trimmed a tad off, but as you can see, it doesn't make any difference at all. Okay, so there's that one. Now this one, we can decorate inside, but not that one there. Don't do the one that's got the 1/2 inch flap to it. Let me just double check that I'm saying that right. Yes. Okay, so don't do that one. But let's do a... have I got a pencil here? Yes. Okay. So do a cross on that. We're not going to do that one. And not going to do that one. Not yet, anyway. And because we're going to cover those up, it doesn't matter that I've drawn on them. Now, these, again. Now, this is where I need to be careful, because I could put those upside down. What's going to happen is the box will go together like that. That bit there goes on the floor. That one inside I can't do. So that one's got to go that way. This one has got to go this way. This one yes, it's got to go that way. And the one down there we're not doing yet. Okay, so that's those three. So I'm going to do the other three so that I know. That one, and that one. Right, let's see if I can get this right. I've got doubts about myself already. So that's on the floor. So, get it back to front. That's on the floor, that one. Alright, okay, I'm starting at that end. In fact, I'm going to keep my box that way round. You can, if you like, put your box together and then do the decorating. I prefer to do my box as I go along, because it can get a little bit fiddly, shall we say, trying to do it once the box is closed. It's not impossible, it's not difficult, but it's just easier doing it this way. Right, this one's got to be upside down. And this one has got to be the right way up. So if I remember, right, wrong, right. Starting with the 1/2 inch down by me. Obviously you could use seal, our tape runner, tape adhesive. You know me, Tombo's my best friend. So that one is on the floor, that's right, that's right. It's debatable about that one, which way it should be. It depends which way you're looking at it, I suppose. Right, it's going to stay like that though, and if I do the other one the same way, it can't be wrong, can it? That's based on the theory that you don't make the same mistake twice. I wish. Right, so I'm going to follow that. That's going to be upside down. And the right way up. And you could think, instead of saying, well, do them both the same way, therefore it's highly unlikely they'd be wrong, could say, really, put one this way, one that way, and then at least one of them's right. It's a bit like, is my glass half full or half empty? I'm a half full sort of person. There we go. Right, now, if you turn those two over, and you still keep that down there, again, let me double check, but there's nothing worse than somebody telling you something wrong, and then change it. Right, now this time, you want to put your 1/2 inch up the top. And this time, you're going to decorate these two pieces, the two in the centre. I'm not going to put crosses on there because they're going to stay as they are. Now, as I say, I've already decorated these, and as far as I'm concerned, there is definitely not a right way or wrong way for doing this one. This is really a lovely, lovely project. The only difficult bit that I found was actually deciding on the sentiments and how I was going to decorate it, because although you could use dimensionals on some of these parts, I decided not to because I think the envelope's going to be fat enough as it is. And I think that this card packs such a wow on its own. Even if I didn't bother adding, in fact no, I won't add any kind of gems. Because they could only, for me, they could only be on the bits that face the front once it's flattened. I don't know if that sounded sensible or not. What I mean is, once it's folded, flattened, that's the only bit I would put gems on, because anything in there is going to squash the actual card. And on that, if I did decide to put gems on, what I would do is I would put a 5.5 by 5.5 square of cardboard on top, so that the gems don't push their way through the envelope. I do that with normal cards as well. And something else I wanted to tell you, if you saw my video that I did when I did like a review on our new trimmer, the only thing that I can recall that I wasn't happy about was cutting the foil paper face up, because I found that you finished up with lots of little tears on the edges there. And after my video, somebody actually wrote to me and she said that won't happen if you put paper on top. And so I thought, okay, give it a try, and I did, and she was right, it works brilliantly. So what I do now is when I in fact, let me just finish putting this one on and I'll show you what I do. Oops, that's not clever, I've gone right off the edge there. No. Right. So I have a scrap of paper here. I have some foil here. So say I wanted to cut this in half. There we go, you can see that. So I've put my foil down there. Say I want to cut it at 2.5, I do it that in case I decide to do another one of these. And then I just put some scrap paper over where the cutter is going to go. Let me tear some paper off. I've got the leg of the tripod standing right by the side of me, and it's not letting me get this paper down. Okay, so obviously I don't need all that. Let's tear that. So if you just put a piece of paper, like 2.5 inches. Now that is obviously going to be where the trimmer comes. If you do that, you get a really nice clean cut edge. I hope you can see that. There is no scuffing along the top there at all. What I was doing prior to being told that you could put some paper over the top of it, I was turning my foil face down, and then after that I'd turn it back up again after I'd cut it, and then I'd put some paper like this over it, and then I'd use my bone folder to flatten down. But it does work if you use scrap paper, it works brilliantly. Right, now this is all done, so we're now going to put our box together, and we're going to adhere it like this. Alright, I use Tombow, and I'm still not going to remove that because that will get covered up. Now if you're using Tombow, don't go too close to the fold there, because when you push this down, if you've gone too close to the fold, it's going to be oozing out, and that really is the last thing you want to happen. I really should be using my silicone mat for this. Right, so I've got my glue on that side there. Now I'm going to fold that one in, then I'm going to fold that one in, and what should happen is they should meet up so that that glues onto that side. Just make sure that this is lining up nicely both sides. When you look at it sideways, if you've got a little bit sticking out, you can just trim that off, which I will do. It really is an absolute tad. In fact, I doubt that's so small I can't. Oh, can I get to it? No. No, that's just too small. Okay, so there's that box with the bits at the front. Now we do the same to this one. Again, don't go too close to the fold. I'm going to blot this off because that's coming up really quickly. This is my scrap paper. That's better. Right, now fold that in, then fold this one over. Make sure that these line up with these edges here. Okay, so there's your next one. This one. Okay. Yes, let's close this one first. So again, as before, glue on here, but only about halfway towards the crease. Fold one in, fold one over, and make sure they line up. And I've got Tombow oozing out. Right, these are coming over the edge. Okay, that's that bit. I don't know where that black's come from. Okay, so that's just a little bit from that one. See what the other side is like. Yep, that's coming over a little bit as well. And there we go. You may not be fussed about silly little bits like that. Right, okay. Now with this large box, what you need is, that is the join at the back there. Okay. So these two are going to be the front. So if you flatten it down like that, we are going to put these two pieces on. Now that is going to be sitting on the floor with its back there. Hold on, hold on. It's upside down. That's better. Okay, so that will be going on to there. I've got that bit on the bottom, sitting on the ground. So what I need is to adhere that to there. Okay. So you should have the join at the back and to stick these two on the front. And you need the bit with the no, don't listen to me for a minute. Okay, so what I'm doing, I've got my blank, you can't see that, there we go, that's better. Right, so the fold is at the back there, these are the two at the front. This one, I've got the fold there, and the one with the cross that we haven't put any designer series paper on, we want the reverse, the back of that to be glued onto here, but only the bottom half, so that it goes on like this. So when it opens up, this will come down and that will go on the floor. Does that make sense? So turn it over and we need glue on this bit. Now to put this in place, you need to line this against, almost against that score line. And this has got to be level with the base. Now bear in mind you've got to put another one of these on this side, so don't cover up the fold line. Just go right up to it. And you should be able to see your score line all the way down there. And you shouldn't be able to see your cardstock from there. They should be level. And you will probably be able to see a little bit of this one poking out from underneath. Okay, but that's fine. Although that is half of that, this is lost space because of the crease there. So let's do that again. With this one, you need to have your bit that's going to be sitting on the floor at the bottom facing you, and you've got to glue it on like this. Now glue it so that they are almost touching each other, and so that this is level with the base there. If it comes over the edge there, that's fine, it's not a problem. So turn that over, put the Tombow on, turn it back over and line it up with the score line. And then so that it's parallel at the bottom like that. Quite happy with that. You can see a tiny little gap there between the two, and you can see the tiny little gap there where it's coming off the edge, and the other side probably coming off the edge a little bit more, but that's okay. So what we do now, pull these two down here, and we're going to put these two on here. Okay. Okay, there's that one. I'll try and remember to put the list of products that I've used for the other 3 projects in the box below the video as well. A bit tacky. Okay. So we've now got our box together like that. Okay, are my flowers up the right way? Yay, look at that. Brilliant. Okay, now, oh, we could do the decorating, couldn't we? So we should have 2 of those and 2 of those. So I'm just putting these on with Tombow. As I say, you could use dimensionals, but I just feel that it's flat enough as it is. And again, the foil is the champagne foil. I'm not planning to decorate these 2 pieces, but I might change my mind. Thing is, I don't really know what to do on those because I don't want to use these flowers again, otherwise that would be like overkill, I think. Now these 2 are going up the top there. I'm saving the tricky bit till last. Oops. Okay. So let me show you the front of the box when it's opened. Okay. You can see the bit that we still got to work on. Right, so what we have to do now is to adhere this so that it is supported like that. So when it's closed, it goes down with it. And that's what these 2 pieces are for. What you need is some tear and tape, and just put 2 pieces on each. Now you can tear this. I tend to cut it because whenever I tear, I tend to tear the cardstock with it. People have suggested that maybe I could use a stamp block to hold it down when I tear, but I might as well just pick up my scissors, I think. Right, now the reason this is tricky is because on these 2 pieces we're going to put Tombow, and we need to take the coverings off of these. Well, that's got Tombow there. so let's, where's my paper piercer? I know that I have it here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Oops. Oops, that wasn't meant to happen. That's better. That's those. Now the way you do this bit will depend entirely on yourself. As you can see, I've done it, this will be my 4th time, and I'm still not certain which is the right way, or the best way, shall I say. Okay, so I'm holding it sideways so that I've not got my fingers on there. Putting Tombow on there. And I want these to be side by side, so I'm doing them both at the same time. Now it's the Tombow that I'm going to stick on the box, and I need one on either side. Oh, I didn't think about doing it like that, did I? As you can tell, I'm still looking for an easy way of doing this. So if I put that, the fold on here has got to go on the fold on the box, and I'm putting this halfway. Oh, this is much easier. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm holding it like that so that it's exposed this as much as possible. And the boxes will move if you give them a little bit of a nudge. Now the beauty of using Tombow at this stage is that it will give you time for wiggle room. Okay, so that's like that. Open the 2 up, and then you take this and you pop it on there. The fun is making sure you get it straight. Okay, so I'm holding that closed. In fact, if I use that, that's it. Definitely not straight. Oh, I don't know though. Right, when you're happy that it is straight, if it isn't, you can move it a bit because you've got Tombow under there, and it will move the bits that are adhered to your box rather than the bits that are adhered to your sentiment. Okay, so close it and give it a press down. Okay, so it's just a question of working out what works for you. Let me just see if I think this is straight. No, I don't. In fact, I've put that too high. I can see the I wonder if you let me pull you off. The one that's gone, or at least the sentiment is too low, no, too high, and the tab at the back, which is moving ever so slowly, It's coming off very, very slowly. Oh, that's it. Right. Now that looks straight if it's like that, so it should be straight, shouldn't it? Then you just need to give it a bit of encouragement to go in towards the centre. You can't see that, can you? There we go. Looks crooked like that. Looks very crooked. That's the Tombow moving. Okay, I think that's all right. God, it's a nightmare for somebody who can't see a straight line. Well, I'm going to say that that is. So what we need to do now is to put the last piece of cardstock on there, not cardstock, designer series paper, so that it covers up the hinge that you've put in there. Okay, so let's do that. And if you're using directional pattern, make sure you're getting it up the right way. And to get this bit in, I have found it much, much easier if I use my tweezers. I hold that box up, move that over, now I know you couldn't see that one, so I will try and do it so that you can see the next one. Okay. Where can you see? See, I need to try and hold it that way, don't I? So you can see in there. Okay, let's have a go. And remembering it's got to go that way because I'm holding this upside down. There we go. As I say, the hinge is the only bit that's the fiddly bit. Actually, I wonder if it's easier to put the hinges on the back of the sentiment first. That might be easier, mightn't it? Right, now let me see if I can show you. Okay, so I'm holding the sentiment out of the way. There we go. And then just sliding that in so that it goes over the hinge. I've got one, my eyes are jumping from here and then up to the screen so that I can hopefully still show you what I'm doing. Okay, so now people won't be able to see the hinges when they look in, because people are bound to think, oh, how was that done? I know I would. I'd be very interested to know how it was done. But there we go, that's today's project. I'm going to have to work on that a bit to make sure it stays in the right place. I have to say this one here, my masculine one, is my all-time favourite. I mean, I love them all, but the one for Ben. And then there's this one. In fact, there's no way I'm going to show you all of these, am I? So let me show you individually. So first of all, that's Petal Pink, and that's what you see on the shelf. And the Designer Series paper is Peony Garden. This is my Christmas one with Christmas Gleaming. Still needs the stars over there. But that sentiment behaved itself a lot better. Okay, so there's that one. This was my very first one, and I used the daisy punches for my flowers on this. The only stamping I did was the beautiful inside and out. And that one I did put it too low, which is why I say put yours in the middle. Okay, so there's that one. And then finally there's this one. Okay, so many thanks for joining me today. If you have any questions, comments to make, please leave them in the box below the video. I'm always happy to help you, and I do enjoy reading your feedback. I will be putting all the measurements in the box below, inches and the metric. If you're in the US, you will need to use 12 by 12 paper, because I believe yours is 8.5 by 11, so you can't get your 11.5 out of it. But the principle's still the same, still works exactly the same. And I will also put a list of all the products in the box below with links that will take you straight to my online Stampin' Up shop. If you've enjoyed my video and would like to be notified each time I upload a new one, please click on the subscribe now button in the bottom right hand corner, and then click the bell so that you get the notifications. I think that's probably about it. Notice, and if you do place an order in my online shop, please remember to quote the hostess code for July, and I will be able to send you free gift when I send out the My Happy Mail, a free product rather, when I send out my Happy Mail. So there we go, that's it for today. Please take care, stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Cheerio.